Welcome. This is episode 3, I believe.
Episode
World You're
3
Not In.
of the world.
Episode 3 of The World You're Not In. Welcome, Benjie Marroquin. Also, no, you don't have an artist name, huh?
I guess maybe Stone.
Okay.
Hey.
Nice.
Or do you have like a gamer tag or something? Because some people started to go by that.
You know what? The gamer tag I had was Space Cowboy.
Space Cowboy.
But Diego, like, that's Diego's
That's
kind
his
of
thing
thing.
now.
So I think Stone is perfect for an artist name.
You know, you have a few different gamer tags. You and I have been gaming for a while now.
That's true.
He has a Rusty Bucket.
That was given to me.
Rusty
So
Rocket.
it was assigned when I joined. Like, I just, when you sign up and it gives you just this automated
I
one.
didn't know that one.
And it ended up as Rusty Bucket, and I never changed it. I never just cared to change it. So I
What
stuck
game,
with
if
it.
you don't mind me asking?
StarCraft.
Bro. Yeah. And then for Smash, Super Smash Bros. Classic, you have like 777.
So 777, I like because I used to gamble. So it was just kind of. But then after I realized that the 777 is a very divine number, so I was like, oh, this is cool.
Let's get into that real quick. Let's get into that because divine in what way?
So we should
the Holy
probably
Trinity.
We should probably look it up, but it's like reaching a very high level of consciousness or of.
Because okay, all right.
So I was like, oh, cool, this is nice. So I'll keep the 777 here because it used to be Space Cowboy. So I would do like a 5 as the S and then C to condense it. But then I was like, well.
So what we have here is
the angel number.
Oh.
The divine number.
Okay. So we're looking at like Judeo-Christian beliefs then, right? I mean, that's my assumption here.
Because there's a lot of numerology branches that have their own kind of like way of interpreting the numerical scale and adjusting it into everyday life.
Yeah.
Like in college, I got so fucking deep into supreme mathematics, and the reasons behind the significance of the numbers today seems a little dated, but it's still kind of fun to play around with. So the number 7 in supreme mathematics is the God number because it's the, G was the 7th letter in the alphabet. It's also like God sees the 7 colors of the rainbow and hears with the 7 notes on the musical scale, which us as man, also. And like 7 is an addition of 3 and 4, which in the supreme mathematics is understanding and culture. So it's like once you have both of those, you have stability, you have God basically.
Balance.
Well, that's number 6, but yeah, that's a whole different.
6 is balance?
6 is balance.
Why is 6 balance? Because 3 and 3 or what?
Yeah, look it up actually because.
We're back at it.
All right, so just look up supreme mathematics.
So how would you compare supreme mathematics to like just sacred geometry?
I've actually never really dove into that deep into sacred geometry.
Okay.
I do know from this video I saw this like bearded white guy going around with like dexahedrons and everything, and then talking about how it all. Like,
Dude, this is 5% stuff.
Yes, I told you. I said in college.
Yeah, I know.
said college.
I should have known. Are you aware of the 5%ers?
No.
Oliver, since this is
Just not get into it. Just look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers.
But like, I don't know where to go here.
Oh, that is true.
There's just what is supreme mathematics? Here we go. Supreme mathematics is a system of understanding numerals alongside concepts and qualitative representations that are used along with the supreme alphabet.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like I should be looking up supreme alphabet.
No. Let's just skip through it. Let's listen more to what Benjie has to say.
Well, I mean, you kind of
Qualitative
interrupted him there.
Interesting.
I'm actually really, really curious about the number 6. You said number 6 is balanced?
Is equality.
Number 6 is equality.
Equality.
The number 6 means equality. Angel number 6, significance, interpretation, and guidance.
Oh, and this is back to the Judeo-Christian.
Of course, dude. I mean,
So, okay. So there's overlap.
more
That's what I was
specifically-
trying to make a connection with earlier with the 777s. because in supreme mathematics, when you get multiple numbers, you're supposed to add them up, and then so yeah, you add them up, and then you interpret the the result, and everything has like, it just keeps going. There's endless meanings.
Well,
Interesting.
this coincides with your gambling thing. Number 6, symbol of luck, the highest number of the dice. Oh, there you go.
It's also in craps one of the numbers that has a higher probability. There's 6 and the 8, I think, that have the highest probability.
Interesting. Trustworthy, sympathetic. Interesting that like 6 I always associated with 666,
Right.
which always have such a negative connotation that it's like this good number apparently.
Maybe, but if you were to look in the supreme mathematics way,
It's not a good number? You
no,
said it means
it's
equality.
a good number
good
because it's so 666 equals what, 18, and then 18 is 1, 8, 9, and 9 means to be born in supreme mathematics. So that's how they break it down. Yeah.
Do you guys ever see that movie with Jim Carrey that was about, it was technically about numbers and significance in the numbers, and it just drives him kind of nuts. I forget. It was this old movie,
Look it up.
but it was about numerology.
Really, Jim Carrey numerology.
Number 23?
That's the one.
Whoa.
It's not that old. I mean, I guess 2007 was a while ago.
And obsessed with the number 23.
Huh.
Interesting.
You guys never saw this?
I
huh?
don't-
It was-
I remember seeing the commercials.
the trailer. I don't think I saw
Yeah.
it. Joel Schumacher. Wow.
budget 30 million. 30 million back in 2007 is a good budget.
That Rotten Tomatoes though? That's a horrible rating. 7%. Holy
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh. But who trusts them, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because most of them get paid.
Yeah, I think they kind of.
I want to go back a
Tilted
little
in
bit.
whatever
Also to kind of ask you a question you about the gambling thing, but you seem a little bit more into the numbers stuff, outside of gambling. Am I wrong on that, or?
No, totally. I was very much a math guy ever since I was little. I think that was the only subject that I really, really vibed with. And English being the one that I really didn't vibe with back in the day. But yeah, when it came to gambling, it was really, I knew the statistics that were involved, and it was never in my favor. It was always in the house's favor. But there's one statistical value that they forgot to add in there, right? And that's the energy of the table. So that's something that when I was approaching a table of craps or looking as far as to where I was going to gamble next, I would always look at the vibe of the room, the energy. What am I feeling in this moment, right? And every time that I found a good table, they were laughing, where the energy was kind of high, the vibration was high, I would always find, I'm not telling you that I would win every time, but I found that my probability would highly increase. So yeah, I ended up doing pretty well several times in Vegas, and then I just kind of let that go. But
Why'd you let it go?
well, I found that the probability wasn't what I expected. Maybe if I would have kept going, I would have done pretty well. I ended up staying above the house in the end, but I started losing money, and it started getting closer and closer and closer to like that. Oh shit! I'm almost kind of breaking even, and I just kind of didn't want to dive deeper into the rabbit hole, but it was close. I would say that even adding in the one thing that is not thought about, which is like energy and the vibe of the table, I would say that the probability would go somewhere between 51-49, either in favor of the house or in my favor, no matter what, every time. It was just that close.
So when you speak of like energy, that's just you like assessing almost like happiness levels, because you're saying the table is laughing or they look like they're having a good time. How are you, I guess, interpreting energy? How are you seeing it, feeling it? How are you doing that?
So feeling is always within oneself, right? So you kind of want to trust your gut. You feel it inside of your body. You feel it in your chest. And I've always kind of had that approach towards everything, towards music, towards life in general, right? Or or even crypto. Like I still do crypto trading, which is
I did not know this. We're gonna get into that too. That's cool.
it's very similar to gambling, right? If you're in stocks, if you're in crypto, beating the market, timing the market it's really hard. I mean, for somebody to be better than the S&P or just the market in general, it's rare. You know, a lot of people don't have that natural talent, don't have that natural gift. But I found myself to stick to some simple strategies, you know, recurrent buying, but recurrent buying at a good level. So buying the dip. But what's a good dip, right? You have to look at the average, you got to look at the statistics, which is kind of what I go by. And then I go with my gut. So I use kind of a combination of those things.
How often? Shoot, this is cool. I'm glad we're talking, because like I got into stocks for a little bit. I took enough of a loss where I'm not a big gambler, but I took enough of a loss where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Not until like I maybe have a little bit more money where I could just kind of. Mike, when did you get into stocks, and like how did you get into it? What's your strategy, if you'd like to share? Because I'm interested.
So I got into stocks, man. I would say first, right? I got into stocks before crypto, and that was back in I would say maybe 2011, 2012, when I first started.
A long time ago, actually.
Yeah, Jesus, time flies, dude. But I did pretty well. I did pretty well in stocks, and then crypto came out of nowhere.
What's well? I mean, if I'm curious, if you don't want to share.
Like you made a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, obviously,
That's
but
good enough,
but I'm
right?
saying like if you're comfortable sharing a figure is what I'm saying. Like,
I'll give it to you this way. So it varies from person to person, but it depends also with what you're investing.
Right.
I would say a good amount in general, and it's going to seem high, but for me, it's 30%.
okay.
I want 30% of my investment.
Oh, so that's part of your strategy, essentially.
So you had another good question, right? Or maybe it wasn't a question. You just said this, that you lost money. So something that's very important when it comes to putting money into the stock market or into crypto, it's not timing the market per se, it's time in the market. Because no matter what, you're not going to lose money unless you pull that money out. So if you think of it in a way where it's like, I'm not going to see this money for at least 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 or 4 years or 5 years.
Right.
And you're okay with that, you're essentially not going to lose money. It's just pretty hard at that point.
It's like
to lose
getting a
money.
CD at the bank.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to derail too much. So what happened was I invested in a couple different companies that I invested actually in a bit of a dip that they were having. And this was already years ago. But I anticipated, just based on some trends that I had seen amongst competing companies and these companies in general, I anticipated that it was going to go back up. You know, I'm not saying it's going to skyrocket, but it was going to go back up. And it's been like 4 years. It's just like, I mean, it's like I'm surprised these companies haven't just like completely shut down. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I guess that's it. I'm never going to see this money again. And that's when I just kind of stopped. I used the profit that I made from other investments, and I definitely capitalized on that. I did pull because I was like, I just want to use this money to, for example, help me get this place, things like that.
Of course, yeah. Sometimes you need to.
So back to you though. Is like I asked you, 30%, is that like part of your strategy? What is that? Why is that number in your head? Like I want to make.
So it depends. A little bit of my strategies, it varies. So I'll have like my variable numbers as far as like, let's say I'm investing, let's just say 10, right? Out of that 10, I might have 3 that I'll be timing the market with, making constant transactions. Mm-hmm. And then that 7 where I'll be like, I'm just going to wait and try to get that 30% off the 7.
Gotcha.
And then with the other 3, I'll be buying, selling maybe at 5%, maybe at 7%, depending on where I see the market at the time, just the statistics of the volatility, right? The high and the low. That's kind of where I try to time the market as far as like, okay, it just dipped 7, 8, 10%, and buy a little bit. Or it just went up like 8%, sell a little bit here and try to buy the dip. So I kind of play around like that.
You doing this daily or like what is your, I guess, like how much time are you investing in this? Are you really keeping an eye daily? So, right, yeah. I trust me. I had apps too. It is a thing where like, oh shit, it's like, oh, New York's open, New York's awake. Like you're up early looking at shit. Is that the same with you? Like,
Yeah, actually, this is a good time to share a project that my cousin's coming up with. Actually, I think it's out already. So he came up with Cacao. So Cacao is an investment platform where he
like cacao, like the actual product.
yeah
I mean, like the actual food.
yeah
I know. Like we're talking about investments on my product. Cacao.
It's all about the product.
It's got to be what is it called though? Like cacao
Investment.
investment.
yeah. Let's see, Cacao. Let's do Cacao investments. I'm gonna text her right now.
It said Cacao Capital.
Cacao Invest.
Consult-
That's it.
Or the one on the bottom.
Well, he's saying it's this one.
All right, that one.
Let's see. Let's try that one.
Whoa. Looks like a WeWork situation.
No, that's not the one.
This isn't it. Okay. Cacao Capital Crunchbase investor profile. Newhouse chocolates.
Huh? Ooh, that doesn't sound bad.
So this is you would say I'm gonna, I guess this is like a two-parter.
He'll text me back and I'll share.
How did you get into this? Is this like something your family's into? You know
Cacao?
No, like
Just
just
investing.
investing in
Oh,
general.
yeah.
Like most people don't really kind of think of this on their own. There are some, but like, was it your father, mother, cousin?
No, my dad hates the stock market. I've been trying to get him in there, but he's totally not interested. No, you know what? It was weird. I don't have a really early memory of how I got in there. Nobody kind of told me about it or anything. I remember one day being at SeaWorld, and there's this one investment platform. Oh, I think actually my cousin told me about it. It was called Motif. So
The one that's starting Cacao?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that shared it with me. And previously to him, I had been watching the stock market and kind of analyzing, where it was at the time and how it was shifting. And it was very interesting because, numbers to me math is it's essentially the platform of this essential universe, right?
This is, what year would you say this is? Like
This is maybe
prior to 2011?
No, this is around 2011, 2010. Yeah,
Okay.
just about. So then he introduces me to Motif, which Motif is no longer in business as far as I know. But with Motif, you could buy a basket of stocks. So it was really easy because they kind of made it so simple to say, okay, we can invest in these technological stocks or these stocks for
Right.
agriculture or anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I went into the tech stock. So I went Microsoft, Apple. I did Blizzard. I did EA. I did some gaming stuff. I did a lot of different stuffs, and I put it into this basket, and it was cool. I did really well, and then I saw crypto, and crypto just caught my eye because there was so much more volatility there was so much more potential to make money than stocks at the time. So I went into crypto, and
You went into crypto then?
I went into crypto, I would say, not at the ideal time when it was just starting out. I probably went into crypto maybe a couple years or 2-3 years in.
So let's say like 2015, 2014, 2015?
I would say maybe around 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you in crypto at all? Dude,
Does not call my attention.
I didn't do like a lot of research, but I am not a math person. And I was like, man, this just seems like above my pay grade, and it just kind of scared me. So I was like, I never invested in it.
Definitely gambling.
It is gambling.
really
That's
is.
how I always looked at it. And since I'm not a gambler, that's why it always felt so uncomfortable for me. And I'm not a numbers guy, so I was like, if I don't understand it and I can't grasp it entirely, it's probably best I don't play this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally.
But
Yeah,
that's fascinating. I had no idea you were in that realm. Diego's never told me about that. Does he know about this?
Yeah.
It's
I-
funny.
I tell him.
Maybe he just does
We
these.
have to bleep his name.
I've actually.
Maybe he's not that.
that's right.
Maybe he's not that interested because I feel like he would tell me about that stuff.
Yeah, I've told him about it,
Yeah, that's funny.
but he's not as interested as well.
You know what, he isn't, and the reason because years ago when I was into it, we have a mutual friend, Steph, and she's into it, and her and I would like nerd out on it. I think you'd be there sometimes too, and Diego would just tune out. But,
Oh, I mean, that's a different.
yeah, he would just be like, I don't know what you guys are like talking about or into. Yeah.
Yeah, Diego's not really too fond of math either.
Yeah.
So I think he does tune out with anything like stock related or
I'd honestly,
crypto-related.
I mean, whatever you could educate. I mean, are you investing? You have some stocks, don't you?
I got CDs.
Yeah.
CDs nuts.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, I'm so curious about like if you have any pointers, if you have any advice, if there's something I should keep an eye on too. Like, is there?
Yeah.
You said you were investing in like tech, or maybe there's pharmaceuticals, or I don't know what you're looking at, but like, is there anything for me and Oliver here that you could like be like, hey, look at this company, look at what they're doing right now? Or
I would say invest in a company that you believe in, that
Right.
you really like, that kind of catches your eye. And then look at what the company is kind of pulling in yearly, start researching the company. And also keep in mind that companies that are more stable, bigger companies, Microsoft, et cetera, safer bets, right? But
expensive to buy in.
expensive to buy in.
Yeah.
But remember, you can just do partial.
True.
You don't have to buy a full stock. You can just do partial or whatever you're comfortable with. And then just know that these are your safe bets with the bigger companies, right? You're not going to make so much money, but you're safer. Or there's these little companies that are going to bring you a lot of growth because these companies could boom at any second. You know what I mean? And you'll make a lot of money.
Are you into startups like that?
Do
you gamble on that?
No, not so
Okay.
much. Not so much.
You want something established?
Yeah. Plus, yeah. I would have to really look into these companies,
Right.
If they're really small startups. And plus, speaking of stocks, I'm not so involved in stocks anymore. I'm more into crypto.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking at the little guys in crypto, like Farm is really catching my eye. Yeah.
Do you know what that is? I have no
So
idea.
There's some that are really
Is Dogecoin still a thing? I don't even know what that.
Dogecoin is a meme coin. Yeah, it's still a
Okay.
thing. They're
Is
kind of
that
coming
meme
back.
Coin?
Yeah. So
is that not like a real coin or?
it is essentially a coin that was more of like kind of like the Pepe coin. So like they do.
You do. We don't
Just
know
saying
any of
words, dude. Like,
We don't know any of
making
this.
this
Is
up.
great though.
Yeah.
No, this is great though because like I have no idea about crypto. I know Bitcoin. I know Dogecoin. I think maybe one other. That's it.
So the big thing is right now the crypto is it's on fire. I mean, China already accepted ETFs into crypto. It's taking off. So it's going to be kind of hard to stop it now. You just kind of gotta go with the flow. You know,
Right.
that's where the world is taking us. So I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Definitely diversify and
Go to that one. What is a meme coin? And how are they taking over the world?
Okay, but before that, because what I want to ask though is why so many different coins? It's all crypto, right? Like why so many different? Is it the equivalent of like let's say the yen and the dollar, the pound? Is it like that? What is the difference here? Why are there so many?
it's basically kind of like if you were to compare it to stocks, like all the different companies in stocks.
I was about to say that. It's like competition, just
Yes.
friendly competition. It's
But
capitalism, baby.
but it's I still like maybe I'm just really really retarded with this. I still don't really fully grasp it because it's currency, right?
It's basically
It's not a product like companies are giving you a product. It's not like Microsoft is selling Microsoft computers, Apple's doing it's currency.
in a way, yes.
allegedly.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like confused. So like, can you explain this? Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
We should just bring up OpenAI. Explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So essentially, like for example, let's say I'm this big hedge fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I want to make a transaction with another person, who am I going to trust, and why am I going to make a transaction with this coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain securities and gas fees. I mean, there's so much that goes into one coin from another, but essentially what it boils down to is supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to do and choose a company like, let's say, or a coin like Farm to handle maybe a transaction, or I'm going to buy some of their coins and just kind of hang on to them, I'm thinking long-term investments and possibly being able to also exchange that coin with just like if I were buying the dollar, right? And I want to trade Oliver for something, I want to be like, hey, Oliver, I'll give you some farm for your Polygon. Oliver will be like, oh, all right, cool.
Polygon?
Which is another coin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, don't do that to me because you're going to lose me quick.
And it could be anything, you know, it could be like, hey, Oliver, I want to buy this.
What is the incentive to
NFT.
trade, for example, farm for Polygon? Why would you do that trade?
It's just my currency. So if I have Polygon and he has Dogecoin, for example, this is just something that I'm going to pay him with, essentially.
Okay.
So it's like, man, Oliver, I really want that NFT. All right, well, where do you have your money? Well, I have Dogecoin. Like, all right, man, I don't know. Like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And he'll give me his NFT, but we'll use that platform,
Gotcha.
right? And that'll kind of increase the value going into supply and demand of that coin. But it's just literally like a form of trading currency.
So then it is, if I understood correctly, I think I did. So it is no different than like the different forms of currency we currently have. Okay. You said the NFT thing. Do you have any NFTs?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I don't understand for the life of me what the appeal is to having an NFT.
What that is?
So
I think I actually understand what it is. I just don't get
Is
why
it like
you
a
would want
coin, basically?
No.
Because you just trade them, right? It's like trading Pokemon cards.
kind of, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is like trading cards.
Like you do it, but it's like, but you don't physically have it. Some
Right.
asshole in the server has it.
Exactly. It's on the blockchain and
Yeah.
it's a non-fungible token. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how many do you have?
I only have 2.
You only have 2.
Yeah.
Can you like show me them? Can you pull it up or no?
I can't.
That's classified information.
Well, no, because like some
G17,
people are like, this is my NFT, and it's
Yeah.
like you said, like a Pokemon card. So it's like, I don't know, this picture of Charizard or something. Like, this is my NFT, and I'm like, okay, like.
Yeah, again, I don't.
To me, it's like,
understand.
okay, it's just art. We're assigning a value to this piece of art, but it's digital art, and I don't really fully grasp like, oh, this is the original.
Like you make something on Microsoft Paint, and then you upload it, and it's like.
Yeah. Like Oliver could essentially put his poetry on an NFT
Right.
and be like, hey, man, this is worth X amount. And
Yeah.
Be like, all right, cool. Well, I'll give you 2 Dogecoin for it. And be like, nah, I'll take a full Bitcoin for it.
Right.
But now we're talking like 60,000 at the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or 63. But then again, you know, it's like back in the day where the guy bought a pizza with a Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And it's like, fuck, Bitcoin now is 63,000, which just makes that the most expensive pizza sold.
Right. That's wild to me. It's still though just assigning a numerical value to like a piece of art in a sense. So your poetry NFT.
But that's the way.
That's the way things have always worked. However,
in
it's
like
not
the
tangible.
physical art world.
Yeah, and it's that's what's hard for me to fully grasp. I'm like,
Yeah.
this isn't tangible though.
Yeah, but it's just like I said, some asshole on the server. It's gonna outlive
Right.
all of us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
And I mean, this is the way of the future. You think, huh?
It's looking like it. Yeah.
It's inevitable, huh?
Yeah.
So you're telling me my greenbacks ain't gonna be worth shit anymore? My dollars, my USDs.
Well,
I think it's
no, it'll still be
Yeah.
worth something. It's going to shift. That's the thing. Now we can get really political and then go into like how much the US dollar is in debt and stuff like that. And
I mean, I'd love to go there. The thing,
but
I wanted to make a comment on the dollars though. Everything's pretty much digital anyway, even your dollars. There's not enough actual like
Physical paper.
physical paper. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all just ones and zeros being thrown around on a computer anyway.
Yeah.
But I want to get political. What do you got to say about it?
well, man, we'll probably have to. That conversation might have to go off the record, but
All right.
but yeah, you know, it's interesting where these digital coins are heading and where everything's kind of heading.
So that's fascinating though. So you are essentially the outlier because you said there isn't, aside from your cousin, like no one showed you this stuff. You kind of just were like, oh, I'm interested in this, and you went down a rabbit hole. I'm assuming you've spent some time on Reddit.
No, not
Really?
so much.
The Reddit stock forums, anything like that?
No, I try
Wow.
to I try to stray away from news and all that stuff because remember, news is just an outlet to be able to control the market, essentially. So
I mean, Wall Street bets. That was the whole thing.
Yeah. So I try to be careful with that. I just try to trust my gut and then try to trust my math.
So how are you getting your information? Because some of these, you have to rely, I would say, a little bit on some journalism.
No, not when it comes to math. So all the data's there. So
So like, how are you like accessing the data, like from whatever company you're investing in?
I like Coinbase. So I do all my trading through Coinbase. I'm subscribed yearly to them. What I don't like is that they have a limit for their. Well, it makes sense, if somebody like me or like anybody that's trading at a certain level, they're going to put a cap on it, and then they're going to start charging you fees.
You have this app on your phone?
Yes. Yeah. So, and it has all the data. You can go hour, day, week, month, year, and then everything.
Yeah.
So I try to set a boundary, right? I set my threshold, just like in music, right? Or like a compressor, whatever. So I'll do like a year threshold, and I'll look at the low, I'll look at the high, I'll add inflation when it comes to like more than a year, and then I'll agree on a good value, right? A good mid ground to say, okay, now I'm at this mid ground. If it goes below this, I know I can feel safe to buy. If it goes a little higher, I might tread lightly. But that's essentially one of my strategies.
Gotcha. So you don't read, for example, like the Wall Street Journal and shit. You don't read any of that stuff.
I'm not going to say I don't read it at all. I do, because I want to know if there's something going into effect, like for example, with the ETFs and stuff like that. I want to know about that information.
Gotcha.
But or the Bitcoin halving, that's very important. So things like that I do, but I don't.
I'm familiar with that.
So Bitcoin halving is it happens every 4 years. So what Bitcoin does is it halves what the miners get, essentially the mining reward, in half, I believe. So essentially making the coin more scarce.
Right.
Long run.
So fuck. I this is like so much for my pea brain here.
And
are you grasping this?
Nah. I mean, I'm getting some of it. But it's also something that it just doesn't
interest you, huh?
Doesn't really interest me, because again, I'm too afraid of like the loss from the gamble.
Right.
That it's like I like learning about it just because I know it exists, but I don't have to subscribe to it.
I guess there's a part of me that's like, here's my takeaway from gambling. I don't like gambling because there's never a sure thing. But sometimes when the math is right, you hear this even in like trading and all that. It's like, dude, this is a sure thing. So sometimes there's a little bit of faith I have where I'm like, this might be something here. So I want to kind of learn. So maybe when the day comes, I'm like, yeah, I'll invest a little bit, So that's why I'm asking these questions, because I don't know any. I'd like to get into the crypto thing because I do believe you. I do think it's not going away, But that's fascinating too. Do you mine?
Oh, mine? No.
Yeah. Do you don't mind?
You know what I thought you said? Do you mind? I was like, no.
Oh no. No, you don't mind. Huh?
I've never gotten into mining.
I don't even know how. Do you know how to mine?
Yeah. They have you can buy a mining setup online and have it all set up and ready to go pretty quickly. But if you're gonna compete against these other guys, you better have a really good rig, and probably multiple rigs.
How does it? Like, what is the rig? How do you even go about it? From all that I know about the mining thing is that like it drains like electricity or something. Like your power bill is going to be stupid high.
Yeah. The more efficient computers nowadays are pretty pricey. Yeah. But if you have a solar setup, man, that's the way to go. I mean, you're essentially.
So I should just like plug into my parents' house.
I mean, if
they got solar,
If you can, I mean, yeah. But just remember, you're going to be competing against.
So yeah, how do you go about mining? Because I don't know what you mean by competing. Like we duking it out online. What's going on?
Basically, so in the blockchain, there's going to be a competition to see which mining platform gets kind of like the resolution or the what can I call it? Kind of like the solution in a mathematical equation. Boom. If you solve that equation, and that's what makes it hard to hack, right? Because there's so much going on in the blockchain, right? I'm not the best person to explain it,
Right.
but I know that whoever does achieve getting that solution gets the coin.
Wait, so you're actively like solving an equation yourself while sitting at this computer,
No.
or is it something else?
Yeah, the computer does everything itself.
Okay, because I was like, I'm gonna lose every time, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Just brings me back to the movie The Big Short,
yeah, I mean,
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
where was it Christian Bale's like sitting at his computer and he all of a sudden just like leans forward, he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, I can't believe they haven't noticed. Like, no.
Yeah, that's an excellent movie.
that's fascinating. I'm gonna have to go on a YouTube deep dive to kind of, I guess, observe.
But numbers though. The reason why you're into this also is because of your affinity or affection to numbers. Your lust for numerical equations.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I'm a risk taker. I love taking risks, and I take that approach with a lot of things. Of course, I'm not going to take the stupid risks, right? I'm going to take
Right.
educated risks, but I guess I just like the thrill of it. I've always been a thrill seeker, and I take that approach in music too. I like things that get my heart pumping and living life on the edge. I mean, that just
Weird.
it fulfills me. Like,
I am not like that. That my palms just got sweaty listening to that. I was like, oh no, that is
man.
not what I'm into.
What is it? Ever since algebra? You just gave up, like,
Dude.
once they start adding letters and shit, you're like, you know what,
Yeah.
dude? What, this ain't for me, dog.
Solve for slope. What is that?
Oh, like those girls from New Orleans, that just solved the Pythagorean theorem using trigonometry.
Nah, I didn't hear
I've
about
never heard
that.
of
It just happened. Like it was on 60 Minutes like 2 days ago.
As we heard, we don't watch the news here. All right?
60 Minutes is the news. Oh yeah, technically.
Pretty much, yeah. Dude, that's fascinating. I had no idea about all this. So you're still actively doing the crypto stuff,
yes.
and you do this every day. You said you're getting up like what time would you like? What's your routine? What's in the day of Benjie, in the life of Benjie? What is your routine here?
Well, I have a little bit of a tricky sleeping situation. I would say sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's a little bad. It just depends. But the cool thing is the stock market closes, the crypto market doesn't. So when I'm up like at 2 a.m, I can check it and I'll be like, holy crap, it's up like 10%. So if it's up 10%, sometimes when I'm kind of sleepy and out of it, I just won't. And that's a flaw of mine because I feel it. You know, when you feel it in your gut, you're like, damn, I should sell right now. And it just happened recently. And I'll be like, I'm sleepy.
That's gotta fuck up your sleep.
Even more.
No, it doesn't, because I'm not worried so much about losing money, right? Because I'm not essentially going to pull that money out until I'm above at least, I want to make money, so 30%.
Wait. So are you keeping yourself up because you're afraid you're gonna lose money if you sleep on it?
No, he just said the opposite essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, total
I wanted
opposite.
him to
Yeah,
justify that.
if I was trying to time the market and I was one of those guys, then essentially, it would be in the back of my mind. I might be losing sleep over it. But no, I think my losing sleep is maybe because of stress and other things. Maybe like when it comes to like my business or family or stuff like that. You know, that might keep me up, or just energy. You know, at the time it's like, why am I wide awake? Or who knows? Wow. That's interesting.
So yeah, back to the, I know because you kind of threw some variables. Back to let's say the week just started. It's your Monday. What's the routine? What time are you getting up? What are you doing first? Like I want to know.
Okay, so Mondays, that's going to be the start of the week for me. And so it's the day I work at SeaWorld.
Okay.
So I'll get up, I'll try to get up at 5 in the morning so I can do some stretching, maybe a little bit of meditation. Usually doesn't happen.
I love the honesty there. I love the
Usually
honesty.
doesn't happen, but I'll take that alarm off and then I'll go to bed again, wake up again at 5:40, and then I'll be like, all right, got to get up, make myself some hard-boiled eggs. I'll boil the water first, and then I'll go brush my teeth, do all that stuff. And then once the water's boiling, I'll put the eggs in there, jump in the shower, shower up, get out, change, get my huevitos, and then pack everything up, and I'm off to work.
Wait, so what time
Gotta
is
get an egg
SeaWorld?
cooker, dude.
What
I
time is
know.
SeaWorld open that you got to be there so early?
SeaWorld opens like around 9-10, but since we're the tech guys, we have to make sure all the exhibits are good, all the audio's fine, shows are running, gear's okay. I mean, we have so much to look after in such a small crew, which is
So what time are
Crazy,
you
but-
reporting? Like 7?
no, yeah, 7.
7?
6:45, 7. Yeah.
Wow.
See what goes down behind the scenes, Brian.
I
So
mean,
you can
listen,
enjoy.
I saw Blackfish. I know what goes on.
And I left out an essential part of my morning routine is looking at the market.
That's what I was. Where does that factor in between your meditation, boiling your eggs, and showering? Like, how much time are you looking at the market?
I'll glance at it, and then if I see it pretty stable, I'll be like, all right, late. But if I see something interesting, I'll be like, oh man, I should probably take 5 minutes and take a look at this.
Okay, so it's not too much time you're spending, and you're able to make, let's say, adjustments, moves in just a few minutes.
Oh yeah,
You got like
all
a
on-
million monitors.
All in the Coinbase app?
No,
It's just on your phone.
all
Huh?
on the phone. Yeah.
I used to waste
simple.
too much time. I would spend like probably over an hour for sure in the morning looking at stuff, and then sometimes check it throughout the day like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could come down to that, you know.
Yeah. See. Okay.
It really can.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Then get home from work some more. 'Cause I also work. I work from home and just
Okay.
yeah. So Tuesday I'll head down there. So Tuesday I'll head down to Mexico, see how everything's going at the business, see if everything's clean.
Yeah.
Check in with my guests. You know, look at the little intricate details. You know what I mean? You know, you don't want anybody pulling a fast one. So I check my occupancy. I check my beds to make sure everything's kind of lining up correctly. Check the terrace. Check the internet. Just all those little things that kind of make the business flow.
Yeah.
So then checking the market throughout the day.
And today, Wednesday.
Today, Wednesday, I didn't go to work. So I woke up and the thing is I haven't been to work in a little bit. So I've just been kind of like overwhelmed with a lot of things and I wasn't feeling too well. I think I ate, I don't know, I don't want to blame it on the tacos. Actually, I think it happened here on this side. I went to, I won't say the name of the restaurant, but I went to this restaurant and I got some fish tacos. I got them grilled. And I think they were a little raw. So that just, dude, it really...
But fish you could eat raw. It just depends on what type of fish.
Yeah.
Like I'm very fucking against tilapia. It's like rubbish fish. It's garbage.
Yeah.
And most of the fish taco places that are over here, they use like, if it's not cod, I mean, it has to be cod, you know, because it's like the ideal white fish.
Right.
But like, dude, like yellowtail ones, like it just
feels good.
Yeah, dude. It just depends on the fish, man.
It does. You're right. It depends on the fish and it depends on the gut too. I have a very sensitive gut. So it's like I have to be careful. Sometimes it's doing great. Like sometimes it's strong and I could spoil it a little bit more, have some coffee, have some sushi, you know what I mean? But there's other times where it's like you feel your body being like, no, you gotta take a break.
Can't stop looking at your shirt. I keep getting these ads for like the stick figure Sublime like collab that's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
I don't even know what stick figure is, who they are.
I don't know any of that.
But I'm
gonna join you, gentlemen.
Oh,
All right.
But I keep getting ads for it, so I want to know if you knew anything about that.
Yeah, looks like Rome is teaming up with Slightly Stupid. I haven't heard anything from Stick Figure, actually, interestingly enough. But they're coming up with a new album, and it's coming out on the 10th.
Oh yeah,
So that's pretty exciting. I used to love that first album, yours truly. I used to bump that. Sirens, man, he really impressed me with the rock. He just got wild towards the middle of the album, kind of leaning towards the end, just captured my eye. And then, to be quite honest, I got out of the scene. I wanted to focus on my music. And it's weird, like, once I started really diving really deep into my record, I kind of wanted to be like one of those racehorses, right? Where it's just like, I just want to focus on the path, enjoy the process, and then look at that finish line without looking at anything else. That way I don't have influences that are coming from other places that are kind of interfering with my music and what I'm kind of channeling in. And that's another interesting conversation where it's like a lot of the art that I make, I can tell you that I make, and it feels like it comes from me. It really does. And there's other art and I can quote John Frusciante on this, where it's like almost as if we're like an antenna, and we're like the right person for that art or to relay a message. And it's weird. It feels like it's almost like a gift. Like, here, take this. This is essentially yours, right, in this plane, because it's something that I created. But it doesn't necessarily feel like it's 100% mine. It feels like I did channel it from somewhere.
Interesting.
It's quite interesting. Yeah, it's a very mysterious world we live in.
Do you prefer one over the other?
No, I'm an open book. I appreciate anything given to me. Really, it's just it's a blessing. It really is.
I remember years ago when we used to play together, you kind of had a similar. You kind of said something similar where you mentioned that you actually don't listen to a lot of music because maybe this is the wrong way of framing it or saying it, but you didn't want to be influenced.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't want it to influence your sound in the way where, for example, you release this album and you didn't want people to be like, oh, that sounds like this band or this artist, things like that.
Yeah.
So you're still very much like in that mindset, or have you?
I feel like now at this stage, I've produced enough art to where it's like now I'm basically done with my record. I'm done, and I'm at a comfortable spot to be dabbling into other people's art now.
Gotcha.
Because the way I saw it is like, man, art's always going to be around, and of course I'm kind of missing out because I want to go see these guys live. I want to be a part of it, but I have my own stuff to focus on. I need to find myself as an artist, and I think just for me that was priority. Just like other artists, their priority is their music and themselves, right? But it's all good. Everybody just has to kind of follow their heart, and I'm excited now to be able to dive into everything I missed out on.
Nice. So you would say you're listening to a lot more music these days?
Yeah, right now I've just been really into Hans Zimmer. He's just
nice.
He's just caught my eye. I love everything about the guy, his approach to music and the way he breaks rules and the way he just has fun.
Oh yeah. How about you? Do you apply this to poetry? Do you not read a lot of poetry as a result?
Yeah, I do sympathize with what you're saying, but like there are certain pieces that I have that I kind of aim for people to be like, oh, this reminds me of, because for me it's like paying homage to like everything that I listened to growing up, because at the end of the day, it's what got me interested in it.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, it wasn't something that like it just came. Like I saw something and I was like, ooh, I want to do that. Like, yeah, like I don't know.
No, and I agree. I have several influences, and I'm sure my music totally sounds like them. But
Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, this is a conversation, like I said, we had years ago. So I remember kind of like poking more and being like, well, you weren't always an artist. You haven't always played music. There are very formative years where you were listening to, these bands or these artists that probably inspired you to be like, man, I'm going to pick up the guitar. I'm going to sing. I'm going to write. So I was like, you're already influenced by them.
True.
But that's that's neither here nor there at this point. I was just more making a comment on that. So you're almost done with your record? You're done with the record?
I'm at the point where I'm done with the writing process, but there's just so many little intricate details when it comes to the guitar in the album where I really just want to master it. I mean, I want it to sound just like the way it's in my head. And
do you want to play it, or you want to hire someone?
No, I think I want to play it just
Gotcha.
because I know the complexity in my music. It's going to be hard even for somebody that's highly skilled to play what I'm playing the way I want to hear it.
Right.
Right. So I'm almost there. It's not going to take too much longer, and I'm excited to go out there and share it. But
Do you give yourself a deadline? How do you work as an artist?
I try to, but then I find that those deadlines just aren't met because it's just not quite there yet. So, so yeah, I'm still working on it. It's almost there. I'll show you guys a piece and I'll talk to you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
But,
I'd love. Actually, I want to ask you the same question. You write every day, right? Still?
Yeah. But it's more like to keep me warm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily like thought out, like, oh, like I'm gonna write a piece. It's like doing push-ups.
Gotcha.
It's like I need to bang out 200 words.
Right.
And it could be gibberish, but like I just need to keep.
Yeah.
I need to get it flowing.
I used to say, it's like it's going fishing. I got to just go to the river at least. If I don't catch anything, I don't catch anything.
Yeah.
How do you decide like, oh, this is the one that I'm gonna either perform or publish?
Honestly, I have certain friends that are in this world that I will share it to first and be like, hey, like this just came out of me right now. What do you think? And then they'll be like, oh, like it's pretty dope. Like once I have like a fellow poet's approval,
Right.
I'm like, all right, like I'll give it a shot.
Do you do that? Do you run it by anybody or just like fuck it?
I kind of dabble, so I'll just have fun and then I'll listen to things that I like, and if something resonates or something comes up, I'll record it and then I'll kind of build off of it.
Gotcha. But do you like, for example, let's say you recorded like a minute, could be a hook, could be an intro to something. Do you play it for a friend? Do you play it for your wife? Do you play it for like someone you're like, hey, what do you think of this? Or is it, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show it to people and see what they think. Usually it's like my lady, which is the one that's home all the time. Like, what do you think?
It's great. All right.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Do you do the same?
Kind of, but it's like my girl made a comment where it was just like, are all guys just like dogs where they just need to be told like, oh, good boy, like you did a good job?
Oh, wow.
Really?
Because to be honest, like when I hear those things, I'm like, all right, yeah. Like even if she doesn't mean, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm a good boy, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I did a good job, yeah.
Oh, I'm wired differently. If someone said that, I'm full of shit. You're lying.
Yeah.
I think it's because
That's
it's
true,
her,
too.
yeah. But like, because obviously it's someone I care about, yeah.
Right. Okay.
I have like zero insecurities with her in that sense, yeah. But yeah, when it comes to writing, I think that like it's like putting it in terms that maybe we can grasp. It's like there's the time when you're just practicing, and then there's a time when you're performing. So it's a different mindset. It's a different vibe. You put a different energy into both. Unless you're, I'm not saying I haven't had a period where I didn't do this, where I treated everything I wrote like if it was like something I was gonna perform. But that added way too much stress on me.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's actually why I asked you about the deadline thing. Do you not set a deadline, at least like a hard deadline, because it's just extra pressure, extra stress, or?
I just feel like there's not necessarily a need for it, essentially. It's more important to me to just put in my best effort whenever I can and to get it right. That's what's important to me.
Gotcha.
Whenever that
How do you know when
happens,
it's right? You just know?
I feel it. Yeah, I'll be like, yes, that's exactly what was in my head. And
Gotcha.
I'll listen to tonality, make sure all the notes are coming across right. And I'll put it out there. And there's a give and take. Sometimes you sacrifice a little bit of tonality for feel and stuff like that, but when it's right, it's like, yes, it's right.
You don't have to. I'm peeling the onion a little bit here. You don't have to answer anyway, let me just ask the question. What sound are you going for on this? So, like Dave Grohl, for example, is really big on like, man, I kind of want that garage sound feel still. Like, that's what I'm going for. Like, it's still produced well, but he really wants it to be like, sound like this is me and the homies still jamming, still like getting that kind of grungy, raw sound. Are you going for something similar where you're going to emphasize more feel and the rawness of it, or are you going for something that, yeah, I want to make it sound a little bit polished and produced?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going for something, I would say, in between. So I want something that's acoustic rock, that's like a little bit more on the raw side. And then
This is an acoustic album.
this is an acoustic record. Yes. And at the same time, I want it to be lyrically captivating, and I want the guitar to also captivate and tell a story as well. And the way I play the guitar is, it's almost like it's like a little mini orchestra in just one little instrument. You know, there's so many little ghost notes and things that are happening to where it's like, yeah, it sounds simple, right? It's only maybe like 3 or 4 chords in this tune, but then when you get into the right mindset, it opens so many other doors and pathways that you're like, wow, there is so much more to this than what I thought and what I expected out of this, right? Because you can listen to a song and you can be like, yeah, cool, it's a song. But then you can really listen to a song and be like, wow, I had no idea this was here.
So, excuse me. I didn't know this was an acoustic album. How acoustic are we talking? Literally just guitar and voice, or are drums present, bass present, any other instruments, or is it literally just guitar and voice?
Just guitar and voice, very light percussion. Mostly all the tunes are going to be guitar and voice. There is some guests that are going to be on there. So there's Erdis Milahalku. Sorry, Erdis for showing the last name. But he's doing cello on there on a few tunes.
Nice.
And then who else do I have on there? I have a percussionist called his name is Matt Cruz, that's doing light percussion, maybe a little shaker. And then I have just different vocalists that I'm still seeking out.
Nice.
To see who's gonna do those vocals.
Oh yeah, because you know what? I think you told me off camera the other day when we were talking that you're not singing everything, right? You're gonna have. Are you singing at all?
Yes.
Okay, but not every song.
No.
Gotcha.
No, not every song. I'm still contemplating whether I want to take backups or leads on those songs. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of just space to listen to just guitar or cello, and the instruments are.
So the cello's present on multiple songs.
Yes.
Nice. So, okay. How many songs do you know?
It's about 10. Just about 10 songs. Good length record, and yeah, I got to record it as well. So the recording is very like, I did it in a style to where it's like if you're there. I mean, it sounds.
It's like Dolby Atmos.
I mean, the way I did it was just like it hits you in the face, or you just feel like it's encompassing you with sound.
You did it all yourself, or you went into a studio? Like you did it at home or a studio?
No, I did it all at home. Yes. All in my studio.
I'm so fucking.
Well, home studio is a studio,
no, I know. I mean, but like, you know, there's a difference between your home studio and
the
his
studio.
Yeah, his setup is definitely better than what I have here. But like, you know, there's established studios where they have everything. You're like, oh yeah.
And you have to pay a certain price for a certain amount for a time slot.
Yeah.
And you're sharing a wall with somebody, and it's just.
That's great, dude. Man, I hope it's. I know you're not a deadline guy. I hope it's out by this year.
Me too. And if it's not, who cares? I'll go out there. I want to enjoy the summer. I want to play some music. Okay. Even if I just go to the boardwalk with some friends and jam out there. I mean, it's cool. I'm ready to head out and to.
You're gonna perform this?
Yes. Nice. I want to do Winston's. I really like Ted, and I want to work with him. I want to go to Winston's. I know he wanted to put some acoustic acts out there, so that'd be a lot of fun. And just practicing out and about, you know, would be a lot of fun too. And maybe doing some posting on Instagram, which I really don't do.
You don't, dude. I feel like you follow me, and I don't follow you, and I don't mean that as disrespect. It's just that I don't know your handle. Like I'm like, because I don't think you're active.
I'm not.
Really. Yeah, because I think if you were, I would have already like found you. And you want more? Sorry.
No, I'm good.
You want a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. I feel like if I need to focus, there's just so many people that are naturally gifted at that, and they just do such a good job. And when I come across that person and they want to work with me, then I say we can work together. But the whole process, the whole path that somebody takes, I feel like it's done better when you're working and collaborating with somebody that's interested in what you got going on. So when that person comes across, then I think it'll be fun. And if they don't, and I have media and I'm playing out there and stuff, then yeah, I might post some stuff and maybe share my practice routines and start filming and recording and doing some live stuff maybe on on TikTok.
Oh, okay, yeah.
TikTok,
I was gonna say like IG Live or something, but yeah, I haven't done the TikTok
or IG
thing.
Live.
I haven't actually pulled the trigger on TikTok. I feel like I'm too old for it. I know there are older people than me that are on there. There are.
They're lizard people, dude. They're not fucking real, dog.
Nah, dude, Joe Biden's got one.
Exactly. What did I say?
I was playing into that.
It's so funny. Actually, I got a story to tell you guys. Speaking about lizards, so I got these 2 lizards.
Oh, I thought you were gonna get into like conspiracy shit. And I was all in, dude.
Dude, and the story on these lizards is so fantastic. So I have strawberries in my garden, right? Just bugs were just destroying these strawberries, right? So I'm at Petco one day and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a couple lizards and throw them in the patio.
What kind?
Anoles.
A what?
Anoles. They're like of the chameleon family, so they change colors. They go from green to brown.
I don't even, how do you spell that?
Anole.
Oh, interesting.
Those little guys. Anals. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, you're right. I have seen these. They are cool.
Yeah.
They're wild. They're really wild because they're so aware. They'll look right into your eyes and be like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then they have their own little consciousness and their personality.
Yeah, they're pretty rad.
They're cool with you like handling them, picking them up and everything?
Yeah, so I have one that was when I released those 2 lizards, I never thought they would mate because when I had lizards, they just never mated ever. So I was like, maybe they're spaded or something. So I threw them out there and they were doing a great job, man. They were fat little lizards and they were eating all my
How are you keeping them contained?
So I have a vinyl wall. So they can't really climb up it. They can climb up the stucco, but since they like to hang out in the leaves.
There's nothing for them to go under?
Yeah, I'm sure they can find their way out, but they just like it.
Huh.
They like the food that's out there. They like how they can kind of hide in between the strawberries. So they just hung around. And then they had a litter. So I was like, oh shit. And the litter that came out, there was one that was particularly fond of just hanging around. So I kept her and she was like the little godmother. Huh. And she's just such a little interesting creature. So I keep her around and the male, he's still the one that works. He goes out there and he cleans the vermin.
That's cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So they took care of your bug infestation essentially?
Yeah, they cleared it out.
Thought you were gonna say bearded dragon because
someone
on Reddit posted on like the San Diego Reddit is like, whose bearded dragon is loose, and it was just like walking down like El Cajon or something. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Those things like have personalities. Those bearded dragons, they really have personalities. It's kind of funny.
Really do. It's wild.
Didn't Omar had like?
He had 2.
Yeah,
he had 2. Yeah, one died. I forgot. I think he got sick, some sort of like disease. And then I think, if I remember correctly, he said that the other one essentially like
died of a broken heart.
Yeah, like it got really depressed,
yeah.
And he said it died not long after because they were together in the cage all the time. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw my hummingbird feeder outside. This hummingbird was always hanging around because my neighbors have this. I don't know if you saw. They have a little planter box. And it attracts flies. So the hummingbird was like, cool, free protein, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed it was hanging around and I was like, yeah, let me put a little feeder out there. Now it's here all the time. And I swear I'm this close to getting him on my finger. I get closer and closer and he like looks at me like, come on, bud. Come on. And he looks at my finger like, oh no. I was like, come on, I'm going to get you. I want to get you on my IG Live. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
back to the music thing though, because you aren't active on Instagram. I wanted to ask though, do you have a practice routine, or is it also feel like whenever I feel like practicing?
Yeah, no, I do. I try to practice once a day, at least an hour a day. I go through some scales, and then I just kind of dabble. I mess around. I try to pick up some sounds, some things that sound weird, that are off, that catch my attention. Sometimes,
What do you mean by that? So are you like pedals or?
No, all in the acoustic. So I'll play some stuff, like I'll do substitutions. I'll get some notes that are off the key, and I'll see if it kind of has like this weird or something feel. Maybe I can build off that. And then I'll just kind of warm up, boom, 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 dabble with that, and then I'll dive into the songs that need work. And then I'll just kind of
Original songs, I'm assuming.
Original songs, and I have some covers too. I'm doing some Meat Puppets covers, and then I'm doing some Slightly Stupid covers. And I think
You're doing these just for fun, or are you doing these because these are also you're gonna record these as well?
No, just for fun, and I'll play them live.
Okay.
And I just feel like those songs were kind of in the ballpark of my style. So I was like, yeah, those are vibing with me right now. So I picked those up. And
Dude, when was your last live show?
wow, that's a good question. That's a really good question. It's probably when we were together.
Really?
Doing our sets.
Time then.
Yeah.
Because I remember last time. No, and you weren't. You know what? You weren't performing live. It was last time you had a listening party. I think for the recent Stone Absolute release.
Yeah.
Yeah, or before you released it. I think you just had like a listening party, but you didn't perform. It was just that.
Okay.
And I can't remember. Yeah, I was like, I can't remember the last time you performed.
Yeah, prior to that, I might have done some house shows. It might have been some good times out there. But yeah, just after that, I think that was it.
What's your like goal in the future? Are you looking to book like a band? And you said Winston's. Are you looking to book your band at Winston's, or are you're like, I'm gonna do these acoustic solo, that's it? How, like, what are you trying to do? Or you haven't even thought of that?
I'm open to both.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm really open to both. If I can't really find a band that will work with me, then I'll have to do it by myself, and I'm totally cool with that. There's just
you do it by yourself.
I know, it's so much easier, right?
Yeah, it's so
But
much
yeah, you could just even play, if you find an artist that you really enjoy, you'll just listen to them play just their instrument, and you'll be fascinated. You know what I mean? So that's why I like to keep my music simple too, because I feel like nowadays our everything is just moving so fast. Everything's moving so fast, and I'm trying to just kind of slow down. I'm always just trying to slow down. And
That's the title of my recent single, by the way.
dude, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Plug.
I was like, I can't miss that opportunity.
No, that's great,
Yeah.
because we miss so much, and really the goal of this acoustic record is having people just listen to those intricate details. The sound. I remember my oldest memory of me in music was me I was probably like 4 years old, and I was in front of these musicians. It's funny because when people play music like out in patios, or they're playing for people, there's really like sometimes there's no crowd, there's nobody there up close, right? Just sometimes, depending.
I'm a gigging musician, I know.
Dude, I was like,
we had a whole conversation last episode about this.
it was so funny because I literally went as close as I could to these musicians because I was fascinated at the way the sound was coming out of their instruments. I would look at the string and it was vibrating, it was moving, and I can see, the way it was moving, almost like if it was in slow motion. I was just captivated.
In a trance.
I was like in a trance, in a meditative trance.
Were you on mushrooms?
No, I wish I was.
I was like, it sounds kind of like you're on mushrooms.
Maybe somebody snuck that into my water or something, but yeah, I was fascinated, and ever since then it took a grasp on me, and then I just kind of forgot. And then in 8th grade, no, I was like in 7th grade, there was this one kid called Isaac Finkelstein. Yes,
That's a badass name.
yeah, talk about just the name, right? I mean, just the name of this guy was incredible, and the way he played the guitar was fascinating. I mean, he was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You remember where you saw him?
Yeah, he was at St. Pius.
Is he still strumming today?
Wait. So
I lost contact.
He was a peer. He was like a
Colleague.
a classmate.
Classmate.
I thought this was an older person.
He played in church, and that was the first time I
Gotcha.
saw him. He played in church, and I was fascinated. I mean, I had to learn what moved this guy. What was this guy about? So I talked to him. We became friends. I went over to his house, and he was the one who gave me my first lessons. And ever since then, I just took off and bugged my dad until he gave me a classical guitar called the Tres Pinos guitar. And that's what I started with. I started playing with that, and then I got my first electric maybe when I was like a freshman. And I started taking classes at Mark's Guitar Exchange. And funny enough, Yeah, I know.
Right across from Southwestern College. Shout out.
And funny enough, Mark himself worked on my Stratocaster on my American.
Nice.
We actually made a deal because I came into his shop and I was just like, I think I was shopping around for an amp or something. I can't remember what I was doing. And he goes, "Oh, you work at SeaWorld?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's probably around 2012." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, yeah, you like SeaWorld?" He's like, "Yeah, I love SeaWorld." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "You got a guitar?" I was like, "Yeah, I got this American. I just got it." And he's like, "Let me modify it for you." He's like, I'll make it so it's like smooth to play. I'll modify. I think he modified the bridge, and he made it to where like it's just silky. Nice. I mean, that guitar is just silky. And I gave him a couple of tickets I gave him like 2 or 3 tickets so he can go with his family.
Sick.
And he was stoked, and I was stoked, and it was just, it's beautiful because I have a part of him in that guitar.
That's cool, man.
I have memories of that guy.
That shop?
Of that guy.
Oh, the guy,
Because
yeah.
I used to work at the McDojo that's next to it.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And I remember
Our first episode on the old podcast was like blasting his dojo. I remember this.
And I remember one time he's like, I did Kempo in the 70s or in the 80s. He was like, I pissed blood, all right? He was hardcore back then. I'm like, all right, dude. So I'm just trying to restring my ukulele.
Yeah, he's like, okay, you piss blood? You're the one. He's like, string it.
No, he was like, I got kicked in the liver. I pissed blood. It's like, it was hardcore. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
It'll be $375.
Oh, man.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm looking forward to you not just releasing but playing again, if that's something you really want to do.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm sure we'll play together too. I'd be happy to have
Fuck
you.
yeah,
up there.
dude. Let's get down.
Let's do it. I'm in.
I'm all for original stuff. I make most of my living essentially playing covers or corporate gigs and whatnot. And when I can do original stuff, it reminds me like, man, this is what I want to do anyway. I just wish I could just monetize it more. You know?
Yeah, we live in this system, and we have to kind of play along with it. But I think that's the beautiful thing, we don't take anything with us in this world. We really don't. All we take is our spirit, and hopefully we can keep that together. And that lyric really captivated me from the Meat Puppets, right? It's like formulate affinity,
You're a lyrics
Sure.
guy. I remember that. You're such a lyrics person, and you as a writer, I'm assuming are
As well.
Yeah, I am not.
I was gonna say like I lean lyrics. It's a spectrum, all right. I lean lyrics, obviously, but like there's obviously like certain like melodies and rhythms and beats that like get me in a trance as well.
Yeah. And that's what's beautiful is that we have each other to complement, right? So one thing that really resonates is that feeling of unity. And I feel like in this life, or in the next one, we're here to share ourselves and I think the Beatles nailed it, right? Is all you need is love. And once you really learn true love, right? And you're able to find love in the darkest of places and in the lightest of places, I think that's where you reach 777.
Ooh,
Right?
I feel like we should end. That was such a callback.
777. What does that add up to?
Divinity,
24.
right?
246. Equality. We're back at the 6 number.
21.
Oh, 21.
21.
Oh, 3. Understanding.
I was like, that's not 24.
So 2, 1, and 3. Understanding, which is your wisdom and your knowledge together.
Yeah.
It's complete understanding.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah. No, essentially it is.
Wow.
It is. It's really beautiful.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, that was such a perfect callback. I feel like that's where we should end at least the talking portion. You weren't here. I spoke to Benjie last night as like a gear rundown, and he was gonna play something for us.
Let's hear it out.
Yeah. So we'll pause right now, and then we'll get that configured.
Actually, I can just freaking play here.
You want to play right here?
I play loud, so I'll keep it down. But I think with these mic setups, it's gonna sound kind of interesting.
Okay.
That
You want
should
to
be
do it
fine.
like this?
Yeah.
Are you singing or are you just playing?
I'll do singing. And
Okay.
I'll play. I'll listen. Shoot, I was gonna bring some headphones,
I have headphones if you need headphones.
Perfect. Yeah, that way I can kind of.
Let's pause anyway just to
Yeah, just set up.
just to get the configuration.
We're going to the liquor store. We'll do it all.
Let me explain to you a little bit about this tune before I get into
Perfect.
it.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way
yeah.
you guys have a
Definitely.
little bit of the understanding. So
Give us
when
context.
when I write, I write a lot in metaphors, and I like writing in metaphors because that gives the listener infinite possibilities to be able to reflect or grow. Or music can touch people in so many different ways. So I can tell you what it means to me when I wrote it, but ultimately
Yeah.
it's
Fuck that! Don't tell me.
You don't want me to tell you? Or
No. Tell me after.
After.
Tell me after.
or maybe I should just not share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because then it
the
becomes
music
more
speak-
personal
You're right.
to either me or you. Yeah, it becomes your own
Yeah,
thing.
you're absolutely right. Let
Yeah.
the music kind of speak for itself.
Yeah. I could ask you later too when we play StarCraft. Be like, hey, am I right? This is how I interpret it.
I'm
If we play, I hope we play later.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm super down.
Yeah. So let's pause. Let's reconfigure. We'll sort things out. You really want to go to liquor store?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So no denying that.
So yeah, we'll pause right now.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Cool, guys. Well, this is called Lights on the Highway, and I'm about to share with you guys. I hope you like it. The lights on the highway, they blind me. The lights on the highway, they blind me. The lights don't seem to care. The lights on the highway, they blind me. The lights don't seem to care. The lights on the highway, they blind me. The lights don't seem to care. The lights don't seem to care. Yeah. Hope you guys liked it.